Today, I'm gonna try to set up a virtual machine on my computer. Why, you might ask? I don't know, I just felt like it. A virtual machine is basically a computer running inside your computer. You can use it just like any normal computer. And let's say you found a free copy of GTA 6 and inevitably got a virus from it. You can just delete the VM without damaging your actual computer. The software I'll be using is called VirtualBox. It's completely free and open source and lets you set up VMs relatively easily. Also, I'm gonna be referring virtual machines as VM from now on because it's quite a mouthful to say. Once VirtualBox was open, I went to create a new VM. I gave it a name and now it was time to select an ISO file. The ISO file just contains the operating system I'll be using. Now, here you might notice that I had two ISO files. Initially, I was gonna install Windows 11, but if you just pause and think for just a second, you'll realize how dumb that is. Most people can barely run one Windows on their laptop. How was I supposed to run two at the same time? So, I searched for a lighter alternative and landed on Linux Mint, which is also beginner friendly, which I need because I've never properly used Linux before. I went ahead with the setup, picked some settings, hit finish and got this message saying the guest installation didn't work. Guest additions are an optional feature which improve the usability of the VM a lot. From what I saw, I needed to do the initial setup without the ISO file selected. So, I went ahead and deleted this VM, and spoiler alert, this won't be the only time I'll be doing this. In attempt 2, I put the ISO file in from the settings panel instead and started the VM. A scary looking wall of text appeared and after a while I was booted into Linux Mint. Now, one thing to note is that this is just a live desktop. You need to fully install the OS using the CD looking thing you see here. But even before that, I went to check if guest additions were working, and as you can see, they clearly weren't. I found a random command online, typed it in, got back another error, fiddled around a little longer, and deleted the VM again. On the next try, I finally thought, maybe I should click on the CD icon placed very obviously there for a reason. So I did that, got everything installed and restarted. And when it started again, I got stuck on the screen. I legit sat here staring at a blank screen for 10 full minutes. But finally I had it started. I updated the system, ran this funny looking command and nothing happened. Then I pressed this option to insert guest additions. A new CD icon showed up, which I clicked immediately, having learned from my lesson. It ran some installations, I rebooted once more, and guest additions were finally installed. You can see it here by this bar no longer being grayed out. It was a little buggy at first, so I tweaked some settings, rebooted again, and the performance was much better. Then I opened Firefox. And the whole thing hung up. I had to force shut down everything. Honestly, pretty disheartening after spending over an hour getting it to this point. But I'm not a quitter, so I gave it another go. Messed with the settings even more, and finally I had it running smoothly. You can clearly see it's noticeably better than before. Here are the settings that ended up working for me. 6 GB of RAM, 4 CPU cores, 256 video memory with 3D acceleration on. Everything else was basically default. Now, you might have noticed that I didn't actually use Linux that much in this video, as I was just occupied getting the VM set up. But if you'd like to see me actually use Linux and dive into it head first, let me know in the comment section. But anyways, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention.
Think fast, Chuckle Nuts!